But listen, listen, I'm going to talk about this because it's just whatever. I mean, I went on my buddy Bruce Buffer's podcast the other day.
He runs a pretty smooth ship for a fucking,
Bruce is awesome.
He's a pretty good podcaster, man. Bruce runs a real operation over there.
You've done his show, or?
I have, yeah. I love
it's
Bruce
time.
Buffer.
No, Bruce is great. Bruce is, I mean, I know Bruce for a long, a long time. And he's always just been a solid dude, man, you know? So when he asked me to jump on his thing, I jumped
Despite
on.
the fact that he faked an injury to get out of our podcast.
He did get it. Fuck, I don't know. We actually witnessed him
I know.
doing that karaoke and
Poor
blowing
Bruce.
his freaking leg out. But so I did his podcast the other day, and he asked me about, who do you like better on doing the show Dana White Looking for a Fight? Who do you like better on X? I know you worked with both guys, Dean Thomas and Nick the Tooth. And because Nick, you've seen the episode with Dean Thomas on, the episode in L.A., remember when we...
Oh, the stand-up episode. Yeah.
It always goes back to that. My 4 minutes of fucking
It's okay.
glory.
If I had 4 minutes in the ring, I'd be talking about it.
Right or wrong, Jimmy?
Of course I would.
Shit, man. Wait, did we talk about the... Oh, yeah, we did talk about the shit the other day. What am I saying? I'm out of my... Oh, my God. I just went back to the CM Punk fight. I go, hey, did we talk about those fights?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, we did talk last podcast. I'm shot. But anyway... So I did this pod. Do you want to talk about this? Can we talk
Whatever
about
you want,
else?
buddy. Absolutely. I
'Cause, I
bitch
just-
every time I'm in here about something. I'm happy to hear you
because I think
complain
that
about
I use
something.
this as my therapy, this show. So I think
good.
people like to hear stuff. So, I apologize to the audience about that because I'm not going to keep doing the button. I'm going to try as much as I can. But if you can see how me and Jimmy are sitting now, I'm really relaxed. I'm sitting back. And for me to get
We're
up and do
scissoring. We're nude scissoring.
that, Jimmy's on my shoulders right now.
Yes. My leg's over his back. So I made it barely even talk.
So anyway, really, listen, let me just get to it really. So he brought up the whole thing with Nick the Tooth. Now, we had a bit of a falling out. And basically, he's off the show.
You and Nick.
Yeah, I mean, well, him and basically myself with Dana and the whole production here, where the guy kind of left us hanging and got off the show like 2 days before we were going to go to L.A. And everybody and their mother's asking me on Twitter, what happened to Tooth on the show? What happened to Tooth on the show? And it's not something you can't really say quick on Twitter. What can I say?
140 characters,
exactly.
sure.
What am I going to say? I don't like him. I don't know. So... let me see. I mean, I don't want to go through the whole thing again, but in a long story short, the guy basically called me out to do a grappling match. Like, basically said something where, and I said this on Bruce's show. He said something, when we first met, he goes, after the first pilot, you go and you do your interviews. So he goes to the interview. He's talking to the camera, going, Matt makes me look good in every way. He's always late. He's bald. All we have to do is settle the grappling, because he does.
Now, is he a fighter?
Not at all. Not the furthest thing from a fighter. He's like a West Coast dude, and he's friends with Dana from high school.
Oh, okay, they're way back. Okay.
Yes. So, but he's like, your typical, like, almost like you talk to him like a surfer type guy, and he does jiu-jitsu for like 3 years now. So he's pretty new to jiu-jitsu. But he went into the over 40 division in like as a blue belt. Blue belt's the first belt you get. You start with a white belt, so you go white belt, blue belt, brown belt. I'm sorry, white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and black belt. Okay, so the first belt you get awarded is your blue belt. So and listen, I'm glad the guy loves jiu-jitsu. It's great. The guy competed as in the Mundials, the World Championships, as a blue belt in the over 40 division, and the guy and he won. So that's good for him.
That's great.
But but there's different levels in jiu-jitsu, obviously. So and in I come from I'm a Renzo Gracie black belt. I've been in the jiu-jitsu. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for I got my black belt in 2000. So
You've been a black belt for 16 years?
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
So that I've been around, and in the art, it's like it's etiquette where you don't call out a higher belt. It's just not the proper thing to do. Anybody that's been in the art will tell you, who's been on the mats, you don't usually do it. You could roll with higher belts and this and that and the other thing, but you don't publicly put a guy on blast like he did to me when he says we have to, match, he's like I said, he's this, he's that, and all we have to do is settle the grappling. So this is my take on that. Now, I was confused by that, Jimmy. If you go back and watch the episode number 2 of Dana White Looking for a Fight when we went to Alaska, and this is the first time I seen him after I saw him talk to the camera doing those interviews on the pilot episode. You
Right.
follow me? So I saw that for the first time after we shot the pilot, and I see that, and I go home, And I'm like, what the? And I had a good time with the guy. I'm thinking the guy's a good guy. You know, he's not a bad guy to hang out with. He's a goofy guy. He's kind of like the Kramer of the show. He's a wacky dude.
Yeah, he seemed funny.
Yeah, you know. So, you know, I seen it. So you see, like, they shot this out of order. So the first episode we go to Jersey. The second episode we go to Alaska. But it was actually the opposite way around. We did Alaska first. So that's the next time I see him. You see me ask him on the plane, like, dude, what are you talking about with the with the grappling? Like, what are you? Like what are you out of your mind? Like what do you mean by that? Like you have to settle the grappling? What do we have to settle? Like really? Like so then he starts playing along like you know he's like well I play wrestling. He's like well you know I told him we got I fought the best on the planet, dude. You know I'm joking around with him. He goes dude well now you got the tooth. So he's joking around that you know we're gonna grapple. So we grappled. We rolled and. After we rolled, I of course, how it worked out was I'm going to tap the guy like a typewriter, and I did. And
how long did it take?
Oh, come on. No. The guys, listen, there's different levels. I don't want to sit here and say the guy sucks, but the guy's not, it's not going to be competitive.
Well, he's newer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But the fact is, he should have known this.
How long did it take you?
No, dude, no, listen. It was, I don't want to, see, this is the
No,
thing.
no, I'm curious. I don't know much about that.
This is
I'm
the thing.
asking.
If you could watch the episode and it's pretty much not cut up, you know, it's pretty
10
much,
minutes it took you?
No, what, to tap him?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I was tapping him left and right. The guy's.
Oh, okay.
We're not. I mean, I'm not. Listen, the guy's. It sounds vain, but I'm just more experienced than a guy, man. The guy can't.
You're a world-class jiu-jitsu fighter. That's the truth.
I'm not being a jerk, but it was like just swatting a fly, you know. So after that got done, you know, I'm thinking nothing of it. He sent me a long-winded text when I got home saying how he cannot let that episode air. It's going to bring dishonor to his instructors, his professors at his school, and this and that. I'm sorry, I thought you were making Oh, yeah. So he's doing all these things because he was wearing a T-shirt of the school he goes to. And, you know, so, hey, man, listen, dude, I didn't, he goes, he feels like he got set up, basically, is what he's saying, you know.
How so?
I don't want to jump all over the place. Let me see. He gave me the text. I went back at him like, dude, you wanted this. I didn't want to. It wasn't my idea to grapple you.
Yeah.
I knew what the hell was going to happen. I think the whole world knows what was going to happen. It wasn't my idea for the show. Hey, this will be good. That's setting you up. That's trying to make me look good. I'm not doing, dude, I knew what the hell would happen. I was shocked that you wanted this. But at the same time, if anybody had anything to lose, who is it? The moron, that goofy bastard that wants to, you know, grapple me or me? If that guy, I slipped, that guy ends up on my back, or that guy had everything to gain. I don't, you know what I mean? And this is my take on it. The guy looks at me walking around, and even back then when he first saw me, I might have been a little chubbier. You know what I mean? I could eat my pasta. It doesn't mean I'm not taking a Kimura. You know what I mean? So the guy sees me walking around a little chubby, and he probably thinks I'm on the couch. This guy's got abs. He's a vegan. He's winning the world as a blue belt. He's probably feeling his oats. He's definitely delusional. I'm going to say the guy's 100% delusional. So, you know, it's like a slap of reality to the guy. You know what I mean?
Do people underestimate you sometimes because you're a fun guy, you're a silly guy, and like you're not always trying to alpha male people? Do they kind of underestimate that?
You know what's funny about that, Jimmy, is that I was always like the fun-loving, like goofy guy, and then until I was like in 7th grade, I was the same way, but I wasn't built in 7th grade. I was pretty small. And I got messed with in 7th grade by the older dudes, you know. And I got messed with enough where, and then I got a little bigger. But then next year I was training over the summer,
right? And
then I had like a hit list. But I do it like a man. Oh shit, yeah.
Good.
8th grade.
I still have one from 8th grade.
Yeah. No, seriously, man. I had a hit list where I go, the first guy that fucks with me is gonna get fucked up.
Shocked, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I did it the right way with my fist. You know, nowadays kids are grabbing guns and this and that. But you know, listen, I feel bad for anybody that gets messed with because I know what it's like. I truly know what it's like. That's why I despise bullies.
You don't like bullies, right?
I despise bullies, and I'll never act like that. That's not me. That's why, because when you hear this guy talk now about everything that went down, it's making me sound like I'm a fucking bully. Like, and it's like, and that attacks my character. And that makes me lash out, and that bothers me.
So you feel like that he might have thought you were on the couch, and that it would be a bit more.
Oh yeah, I think the guy,
100%.
Unless the guy, I don't know what else he says. Oh, I thought I was just gonna flow roll. So listen, so let me just go in order that way for myself because I'll screw this up. So basically, we had that talk about the rolling, and then he's like, oh okay, I understand. And he even told me at one point, how would you like if my professors rolled with one of your purple belts and did that to him. And I go, if one of my purple belts put on blast your professors, my guys know etiquette. First of all, it wouldn't happen. And if it did happen, I'm going to beat their ass worse than your professors because I teach my guys respect and I teach them etiquette because that's a huge part of martial arts. It's part of life.
Right.
It's not just about who could tap who. So that's where I'm coming from. This idiot, his instructors, now listen, only because I'm getting back to that because it really irks me, the stuff he's saying after my interview.
Sure.
So I got the text. Let me bring it back for me. I addressed that with them. So then I then afterwards like, oh, okay, I see your point, this and that. And I sent that shit to Dana, man. I go, I don't know how much, back when he said this, I'm not going to let that air because it's going to bring shame to my instructors. I'm like, I don't know how close, he's close with Dana. I know I'm close with Dana, but does this guy hold that kind of power not to have something aired? And who the fuck is, and something that he initiated, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I go, hey guys, I got a great idea for the show. I could beat up on the tooth. Dude, that's not me. It was his idea.
Sure.
It backfired on him, and it didn't work out his way. And then he just doesn't want to be shown. I mean, the guy, that's like pathetic.
But wouldn't you expect that if you're only a blue, not say only a blue belt, if you're a blue belt, wouldn't you expect a guy like Matt Serra to easily tap you? That's part of the game.
But that's what the whole world is saying to this guy. So he gets now. So that's what happened with that. And then, there was an episode when we got tased, all right? These are two incidents, right? With the episode that we got tased, we all had the interlock hands. They hooked one up to me, one up to the tooth, and then they tased us with it. We got, for what was it, for 5 seconds, right? And he made some noises like, oh, guys, stop it, so we were kind of goofing on him for that. But dude, this is a guy's show where we break balls, and dude, I'm getting a snowball in my face. I'm getting tipped in a canoe. You take it and you give it, man, with this show. You know what I mean? So sure enough, he's saying that we didn't get tased. He's the only guy to get tased and this and that. So this is what we're dealing with. So, him and Dana got into an argument with that at an Agent Orange concert in Las Vegas, right? And so then he's like, listen, if you don't admit that I didn't get tased, I'm walking off the show. I'm not gonna be on the show unless you admit that I got most of the shock and this and that. So then he goes, I'm not fucking admitting that. It's bullshit. We all got tased. So Tooth basically left and we got Dean Thomas on and there we go. So now everybody was asking about what happened. So I told the truth, right? So now listen. So the guy, listen, I wasn't gonna listen to his response. I wasn't, because I'm like, dude, I got a life to live.
Sure.
But if I got to vent, I might as well vent now. We get some time to kill before Uriah Hall calls in. The very talented Uriah Hall was fighting Derek Bronson this Saturday night on Fox Sports 1. Can't wait for that. Got to add that. Plug that every once in a while.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Co-main event.
Co-main event. And the main event is Dustin Poirier versus Michael Johnson, which is another fight. I know what I'm doing Saturday night. I'm psyched.
Yeah.
All right, but back to this freaking moron. So I listened to the guy on the thing today, and he's talking to Bruce Buffer and the producer of that show, and he's like, oh, well, listen, of course, why would I get upset if, a black belt submitted me? I just get man, I didn't know what was going on. First of all, I wasn't warmed up. You hear me say, the first thing you hear me say on that episode of when we were at that academy is, the first thing you hear me say is, hey, we're not warmed up. And that's not fucking true. The first thing he said is after I'm getting done doing the technique, you hear me go to the guy, all right, guys, anything else? You hear the Tooth in the background go, let's roll. You hear the motherfucker, let's roll. That guy was ready, and that guy knew what we were doing.
Right.
But it's not I didn't tell the guy to wear a freaking rash guard of his school or anything like that. So, the guy wore a rash guard. The guy knew exactly what was going on. If you see us rolling, he's going inverted. He's trying all his shit that I'm slapping away. And, of course, what happens is what we all expect to happen. And I just did what I want with the guy. So, but again, it's not a big feather in my cap, dude. I got some stuff I did in my life, and that's not one of them. I'm not bragging. That's like, Jimmy, if I rolled with you now, you think I'm going to be like, yo, man, I schooled Norton, and I'm not that dude. First of all,
I think you'd be surprised. I use that technique called the crane. That was once featured in the Karate Kid, and it's very effective when I do combat.
Fucking and your karate chops, and I don't know what you're gonna do to me, Jimmy. But listen, I'm not one to brag about something like that. It's silly. It's silly to me. Silly, Jimmy. So anyway,
you're a black belt. You're a seasoned veteran. You expect to tap a blue belt.
But now he's like, of course. He's like, did anybody see me go with Joe Lazone? I'm not embarrassed by going with anybody a higher belt and this and that. I got submitted by all these guys. He goes, but I just don't like how I saw on forums how it says how Serra Jiu-Jitsu is better than the school. He goes, then my school, and it's not even my school. And this is what I don't like. He goes, my instructors, he goes, they go and they're at their school 8 a.m. in the morning, and they're there all day long, and they're building this school up just to have one image of their school getting beat by dude, are you a fucking moron? These guys are world champions. The only problem that the only slack they should be getting is why they let a fucking retard like you in and train at their academy and call out higher belts and then roll with that guy wearing one of their rash guards, you fucking moron. I mean, that guy's a fucking idiot.
What is a rash guard?
A rash guard's like the tight shirt. So the thing is this. I'm extremely, you know what I mean? Like a tight shirt.
Yeah, rash guard makes sense, yeah.
I'm extremely pissed off now. So he shifts it to now it's no longer the tooth being me and the tooth. Now it's me trying to make his school look. Dude, I'm not that guy. I like his instructors. I don't know them personally, but I like they come up with, they have nice stuff. They're very good at taking the back, the Barambolos and the Mendes brothers. They're very good. These guys are phenomenal, world champions. They're good friends. They do seminars at my buddy Joe Capizzi, who's a Hensel Gracie black belt in Staten Island. So I have nothing against these guys. It don't make it. How dare you, man? Why are you bringing them into it? You're the moron that's trying to say you're representing their school. Nobody gives a crap. Nobody's gonna look at them, me and you roll and say, oh wow, where does he train? They must suck. No, Tooth, you suck. You know what I mean? Don't bring these guys into your battle. The guy's a fucking moron. So when I hear the guy, that's like attacking my integrity, you know what I mean? And then I hear the guy talking, listen, I'm like a geek and, he's making himself out to be, I'm the laid back guy and Matt's that jockey type. Listen, not for nothing, and I have nothing against anybody. And in high school, dude, I was not on the wrestling team. I wasn't on the fucking football team because I told the football coach to go fuck himself. Because I don't have that jockey attitude. I'm a guy that gets along with all different types. I'm the guy, I had the burnouts, the jocks. Everybody was cool with me.
In the time I've spent with you in Vegas and all these other places, I've only seen you be silly with people. I've never once caught that because I don't like that type of attitude. I've never once seen that. I don't know Nick at all, but I've never seen you display that.
I'm not
ever.
that guy. So he makes it like I'm trying to alpha him and I'm trying to... Dude, that's not me, man. I'm not putting anybody in. There's another guy I'm not too crazy about where I'm not going to bring him up, but he's that kind of guy, a jockey guy that's like giving guys wedgies and that. It's not me, man. If anything, with the tooth, not you, Chris, the producer, I didn't mean you, buddy, but like the tooth, I used to talk to the guy about comic books and Comic-Con because he's into shit like that. Sure. So I used to hang out with the guy. I'm thinking the guy's a decent guy, but he's not. The guy's not a decent guy. I mean, how dare you make me look like I'm the fucking bad guy? And this is everything that you initiated. Like, he's having a pity party for himself about looking bad with us rolling, but the guy initiated the whole thing. He's saying he got set up. This was not my idea. I asked him, I go, dude, why would you say that? Why would you say let's settle the grappling? What would you think would happen? He goes, well, I thought it would be a good bit for the show. I go, well, then you got your bit, but you just didn't like the outcome. So now you don't want to play no more. You don't want that to be shown. That's fucking pathetic, dude.
Yeah, what happens is when egos get bruised, like we put our egos in these weird positions. Like, if I was going to, and again, I have zero physical prowess. I mean, you guys look at me like this is just natural. I don't work on this. But I would enjoy, like when I would have fighters put moves on me. I had Fedor put me in a move. I would never go back with them. I just wanted to see what it felt like, BJ Penn. What is a mild version of an arm bar? I had Ronda arm bar me. Yeah. And it's weird, like you do it from a point of respect, like, oh, this is what these guys deal with. Like I just kind of was in awe of fighters when you feel like when Cain Velasquez put me in a guillotine or just a choke, and a mild pressure. I'm like, the idea of a man wanting to do this to really hurt me is mind-boggling. Like how you guys fight through that, I have no comprehension. You can't come at somebody who can fight better than you. Yeah, but the thing is, from a point of ego, you can't do it.
If you talk to him now, he'll say, "Oh, of course I didn't think I thought we were just gonna flow roll and him doing a seminar. I want to be in on it. I don't want to get blindsided, dude." I go back to him saying, "Let's roll." The guy wanted to roll, and what is a flow roll settle? The flow roll means like, I move with you and you move with me. See, the only reason
I thought it was when you wrestled that bitch from Alice. I always hated her.
Flow? Only me, you, and Longo would get that joke.
I know.
think that's an age
I really
joke.
am 48 years old.
Alice.
Stick around for some Vic Tayback impressions.
Sometimes Longo will fucking throw out a joke like, what are you, Milton Berle? I go, dude, nobody knows who that is right now.
I love a good old school. A good give me a break reference.
Give me a break. Remember What's Happening?
I do. Who doesn't love fucking Raj?
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, Haywood Nelson, rerun.
Rerun.
Remember rerun Fred Berry? He played a pimp in Vice Squad who got stabbed in the dick by Wings Hauser.
Oh, my God.
There's a bit of trivia for you.
Do you remember What's Happening? It's a fucking piece of knowledge that is as useless as fucking Badagush. But listen, I'm only kidding. That's great. But what about when they were at the Doobie Brothers concert and they were dancing and, and the tape recorder fell out?
We thought you were our friend, Rerun.
Right? Yes. Rerun. Fuck.
Drop the tape recorder. I'm going to jail for a fat kid eating popcorn. The guy who made him tape the show.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. The guy was a guy who he made Rerun tape the show.
Oh, that's fucking great. But listen, I don't want to waste the podcast with this.
Well, no, it's not a waste. You wanted to get off your chest.
I have to, only because if something's irking me, I got to talk about it. The guy irks me.
So
and it's like
you feel he misrepresented. You feel what happened?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, his idea with the whole tasing thing being a conspiracy, that alone, let that he could just run with that and let people think what they think with that. I mean, I know I got tased, and
what's wrong with being the only one who reacted? Like, if I was with two guys and you guys got tased and you took it and I squirmed like a girl, I would just laugh about it.
This
like,
is the
who
thing.
cares?
You notice how you said that you don't like to listen to anything you do or watch anything you do, or sometimes, right or wrong? Did you say something similar to that?
Yes, and I was also speaking for everyone else.
Yeah. I think that, see, I'm used to the reality TV and this and that. And Tua told me in the beginning that, oh man, I'm not used to this reality TV. And I'm not used to being put on, before that thing came out with the tasing, he'd call me, he'd text me, be like, dude, I'm having a hard time with this. It's going to go viral, man. It was almost like Hudson from Aliens. It's like, we're done, man. Game over, man. Yeah. No, he's like, man, it's going to go viral, me getting tased. And, this one's going to see it and that one. And I'm like, dude, relax, man. Like, I'd talk him down like I'm his shrink, and I'd actually be on the phone with the guy for a half an hour. So it's like, this is what people aren't seeing, man. Like, dude, you're painting me out to be the bully, dude. I thought I was becoming a friend of yours. I thought I was cool. But the guy is not a good guy. The guy painted a picture. Like, when I heard that thing, once I heard him say, like, why wouldn't I be, the Joe Lazone thing? See that? Like, he was painting the picture like, oh man, I knew Matt would do this and that, and then they put that out there. It was 100% his idea. I can know what a setup is if I'm like, hey guys, let me roll with the tooth. Like I said, that's a setup. And right. We'll just roll friendly, and then I go off on him. The dude throws down a fucking challenge that he should never. If I heard that from one of my perp belts, again, I'm schooling that guy. I'm saying, how dare you? I won't let you train here. You better apologize to that motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where we come. So I just didn't like. When I listen, the guy's nuts. I could hear the guy could say whatever he wants, but I just didn't like when he was trying to say, oh, and then I saw in the forums that it said that his jiu-jitsu is better than my instructors. It's like, hey, dude, if you're reading now, you're making it something else, and that's all you're doing, not my doing, man. That's almost like, because I get insulted when it makes it look like that's what I thought going into it. Like, I'm gonna make my school. I'm gonna wear one of my shirts. Yeah. He'll wear one of his, and I'll make my school look better. Hey, dude, I got enough. Listen. Like I said, I got enough credentials to fall back on to teach my fucking arm locks. I don't need to fluff up my record anymore by strangling a fucking moron. You know what I mean?
When I was training one time, my instructor, I didn't realize worked for people who didn't like me, and he was having me karate chop boards.
That's why you're obsessed with the karate chop.
That's right. I was karate chopping boards and punching boards, and he was laughing with his ponytail. I had no idea he was setting me up for failure. Worst bad guy in history. But what was that, Karate Kid 37?
Oh!
I want pain, Mr. LaRusso!
I'll
You
tell
got it. This movie.
They lost me after that.